Jew went by the Rebbe by dollars. The Jew was from Italy, and he was on his way back to Italy. So he came to dollars, and he told the Rebbe that he's from Italy, and he's leaving this afternoon or this evening with a plane. The Rebbe gave him a regular dollar like he gave everybody. Then he gave him an extra few dollars for Australia. So he tried to correct the Rebbe. Italia, not Australia. Thought that maybe the Rebbe didn't hear him well. And Rabbi Groner helped correct him because this guy's screaming Italia. The Rebbe didn't change his mind. He left it to Australia. So he took the money, and now he was debating what should he do. He told the Rebbe 3 times he's going to Italia. The Rebbe told him Australia. Weißt du, he was a tmimizdik person enough that he figured if the Rebbe said Australia, you know what, who knows, I'm not going to take a chance to go to Italy. I'm going to Australia. He got onto a plane that went to Australia, and I need not tell you, for those who are familiar with long flights, it's a long flight. And he's sitting on the plane, and obviously with a long flight like this, he doesn't have what to do with himself. So he's walking from aisle to aisle, from seat to seat, and he finally ended up sitting next to a guy, and he starts a conversation with him. And Yenner is a Takayid, but he is marrying a non-Jewish woman. And dreht the hair and is justifying it in the red, and Aklal, mitten, it's a long flight, me fliegt by Nacht, me fliegt by Tag. He put on tefillin on him. This is not a Shliach. This is a businessman. Put on tefillin on him, and he's talking to him, The plane lands, as was the case in those days. No matter where you went in Australia, you landed in Sydney. If you had to go to Melbourne, you had to take another flight to Melbourne. But the plane landed in Sydney. So he gets off the plane. He doesn't know what to do with himself, because he has no business in Sydney. He doesn't have any business in Australia. But the Rebbe said something, but I have money now for Australia. So what do? So he looked up in the telephone book Chabad, Lubavitcher, and he found the name of a Shliach, or 2, or whoever it was, and he said, look, I came to the Rebbe, I told him I'm going back to Italy, the Rebbe told me Australia, I'm here. I have dollars from the Rebbe for Australia. I'm not intending to settle in Australia. So please come to the airport, take the dollars from me, use it for whatever you guys have to do with it in Australia on the Rebbe's Shlichus. And here is a man, by the way, who I met on the plane, and maybe that's the Hashgacha Protis, I don't know. He's intending to marry a non-Jewish woman. I just want you guys to know. And he had already the guy's name and address and everything with him. Sure enough, one of the shluchim showed up, took from him the money, took from him the name and address. Today, that guy is a Yid with a kapote, with a long beard, with the whole works, a Lubavitcher Chassidus. Okay? But the nish chasna got me the shiksa, and if anything, he became what he should have become. So the trip was not a pleitus apeh as everybody thought at the moment, b'shas ma'aseh, but was a real trip that changed the life. If hamekayim nefesh achas miyisrael kilu kiyim eilamoli, how much more so is this when you're talking already about deires, children and grandchildren, and so on and so forth. So if you think for a second, in what category do you put a person like that, if we can even use that term? This is malach alikim tzvah. There's no question about it, and there's no other way you can analyze it, and there's no other way you can put it, and there's no other way you can explain it. I'm not even going to go into explanations, because to me, I've seen too much, Baruch Hashem, of these things, which, you know what, if I want to be a chacham and try to insert my seichel in it, I think I'm minimizing the Rebbe at that point. If a boss of the dogim wants to put himself into a position, as can verstehen das Elyon bechlal, und afile dem Rebbe, is a Rameshugana. You'll pardon my French for saying it in public, but ich shem sich nicht. I'll call it by its name. This is the fact. Vasher alken, soll man wissen sein, Ashreinu ma toiv chalkeinu, ma noyim goraleinu, ma yofi rishasenu. Ashreinu, that we were born in this generation, not in another generation. And ma toiv chalkeinu, amir zene gewohn Chassidim von dem Rebbe, one way or the other. We've been influenced by the Rebbe one way or the other. You do have a kapote, you don't have a kapote, you are a Lubavitcher Chassid, you're not a Lubavitcher Chassid. I don't know if there's anybody out there, and I don't care who it is, that can tell me that he didn't have an influence from Lubavitcher one way or the other. So if this is the case, and we have an influence from a Nossi Hadir, in an extent that it may have changed our lives totally, partially, mer, weniger, whatever the details are, shenish negeya. But we have to say that Ashreinu Matei every time we take a breath. I'm not saying that you should get up in the morning, Ashreinu Shana Mashkimim, and we say Ashreinu. No. Every minute of the day, Daf Mishrayin, Ashreinu Matei Cholkeinu, Amirim Zeiche Givenu, Bifratach, we can do a Shlichus of the Rebbe, and a Shliach doesn't mean somebody that's necessarily on a payroll of a Chabad house. A Shliach is somebody who's Tutum Rem Shlichus. And it makes no difference. If Tutum Rem Shlichus in this way, or in that way, or der legt film mit Ayiden, or der sagt Ayiden zu benchen Neshek, or whatever it may be, it doesn't make a difference. Anything that a person is going to do is a Shliach for Rebbe.